That night, I was not alone. It was the day my life changed and became the worst day of my life. My name is Sophia, and I only understood that far too late. I was asleep when I woke up feeling thirsty and went to the kitchen to drink some juice from the fridge. I took 2 sips. The taste was strange. Within seconds, the dizziness hit too hard, too fast. I thought it was exhaustion. I went back to the bedroom, feeling my body grow heavy, like something inside me was shutting down. I lay down, and then I felt the weight of the bed change. A slow, deliberate sinking. I tried to move. I couldn't. My arms wouldn't respond. My head was spinning. The room felt distant, as if I were trapped inside my own body. I forced my eyes open and saw his face hovering above me. Too close, calm, familiar, the neighbor. The exemplary man from the building. Handsome, polite, admired by everyone. The kind of man no one ever suspects. I tried to speak. No sound came out. I tried to push him away. My body didn't obey. He wasn't in a hurry. He wasn't nervous. He was comfortable, certain that nothing would go wrong. After that, my memory breaks into fragments. The ceiling, the feeling of sinking, the heavy silence of the room, and then nothing. In the days that followed, he went on with his life as if nothing had happened. He smiled in the hallway, laughed with the neighbors, greeted me like everything was normal. When I tried to tell someone, no one believed me. They said I was the new girl, that I must be confused, that he had a beautiful family, a perfect job, an impeccable reputation. He left no evidence. He knew exactly how not to. A week later, I ran into him in the hallway. He stood too close and spoke softly like he was giving advice. He said it would be better if I changed where I kept my spare key. Said leaving it under the doormat was dangerous. Anyone could make a copy. He smiled and added that he didn't like sharing me, that I wouldn't want to see him irritated if I decided to talk too much. I thought about filing a police report. I couldn't. The fear wasn't just of him. It was of not being believed again. I couldn't move on. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't exist in that building anymore. I only felt a little better after I fled to my aunt's house. It wasn't justice. It was escape. He stayed free, loved, untouched. I carried the impunity with me. That night, I went to sleep knowing I was not alone. The alert went off at 2:17 in the morning. It said someone was standing outside my door. I was already inside my apartment, alone. I got up slowly, holding my phone with both hands, my heart pounding too loudly for a place that quiet. When I reached the door, the hallway was empty. No footsteps, no shadows. The notification disappeared seconds later, as if it had never existed. I tried to laugh it off. Sensors fail, systems make mistakes. But something about that alert felt too deliberate. My name is Emily. I was 28 when I connected everything in my apartment to one system. Cameras, motion sensors, lights, locks. One network, one password. Simple. At the time, simple felt safe. At first it worked. The alerts made sense. Movement in the hallway, noise late at night. I started to trust it, to relax. Then the notifications changed. They started appearing at the exact same moment every night. Not minutes later, not randomly. Precisely when I turned off the last light and lay down. If I stayed awake, nothing happened. If I got up, silence. But the moment I closed my eyes, my phone vibrated. Movement detected. Presence nearby. On the 3rd night in a row, I snapped. I sat on the edge of my bed, phone in my hand, waiting for the alert. When it came, I didn't get up. I didn't check the door. Instead, I opened the app and manually activated every camera in the apartment, one by one. Living room, kitchen, hallway. Every feed showed the apartment completely empty, but the alert stayed active. Then something changed. The living room camera moved on its own, slowly, deliberately, like it was searching for me. I shut the app down immediately. The screen went black. My phone grew warm in my hand. Seconds later, a message appeared, with no option to reply and no way to dismiss it. It said it wasn't safe to test boundaries right now. I dropped the phone onto the mattress, my entire body shaking. That was the moment I understood this wasn't reacting to the environment. It was reacting to me. The next day, I called support. 2 days later, a technician came to my apartment, a real person, calm and professional. He asked me not to touch anything while he checked the system. He stared at his laptop in silence for a few minutes, then frowned and told me I didn't have a malfunction, I had external access. He showed me the logs. Someone had entered my network weeks earlier. My passwords were weak, reused. Once inside, they didn't break anything. They watched, learned my routine, viewed every camera in real time. I asked where the access was coming from. He hesitated, then turned the screen toward me. The transmission address was still active right then. He said someone was still connected. My stomach dropped. Someone was watching while we were talking about them. He shut everything down manually, unplugged the devices, reset the entire network. They replaced the cameras, the sensors, the passwords. Before leaving, he had told me something I can't forget. Most cases like mine involved women living alone, and the worst ones weren't robberies, they were long periods of observation. That night, I slept with every light on. No alerts, no movement, no notifications. The silence returned until my phone vibrated once. No app, no system. Just a message from an unknown number. Now you're unprotected. You still leave the hallway light on when you're scared? That was the message that appeared on my phone in the middle of the night. Unknown number. No explanation. No direct threat. Just a short sentence, far too intimate to be a coincidence. My body reacted before my mind did. My stomach dropped, my breathing stalled, and I stared at the screen trying to understand how anyone could know that. I had never told anyone about the hallway light. My name is Lara. I was 30 when I thought blocking someone meant closing a chapter. The relationship had ended more than a year earlier. It was never violent, never explosive. In the beginning, he was overly attentive, present, protective. He said he liked taking care of me. Over time, care turned into surveillance. Questions became demands. Silence became guilt. Even so, when I ended it, I wondered if I was overreacting. He never hit me, never yelled. Maybe it wasn't fair to treat him like a threat. I ignored the message, blocked the number, tried to move on. The next day, I noticed a new like on an old photo from years ago. An empty profile. No face, no name. Just an initial, the same initial as his. Over the following days, the small intrusions started. Story views that vanished seconds later. Messages that appeared and were deleted before I could open them. Always calm, almost affectionate. I just want to know if you're okay. You were always prettier when you stayed quiet. None of it sounded like a crime. That was what kept me frozen. I thought about going to the police and stopped myself. What would I even say? That an ex still knew things about me? He had been so good to me in the beginning. Was I ruining someone's life over fear? The doubt kept me still, until the email arrived. An old account I had forgotten even existed. The message said only one thing. You left me here? That night, I heard footsteps in the hallway of my building. Slow, heavy. They stopped near my door. There was no knock, no doorbell. Just presence too close. I stood there holding my phone, waiting for something to happen. Nothing did. And that was worse. The next day, I found a note on my car windshield. It wasn't signed. It didn't need to be. You always park in the same spot. That was when I realized he wasn't trying to talk to me. He was following me. I decided to meet him. I thought that if I saw him in person, maybe the fear would shrink. We met at a crowded cafe in the middle of the afternoon. When he arrived, he sat down without asking and pushed his chair too close to mine. The smile appeared, but it didn't reach his eyes. As I spoke, he didn't blink. He watched my hands, my breathing, the way I shifted in my seat. When I mentioned the messages, he reached across the table and grabbed my wrist. He didn't squeeze. He didn't hurt me. But he didn't let go when I tried to pull away. When I said I was thinking about filing a police report, he tilted his head and smiled differently. His voice stayed low and controlled. He said I wouldn't want to do that. He said I wouldn't want to see him irritated. It wasn't a warning. It was a certainty. His grip tightened just enough to keep me from standing. He said people become unpredictable when they feel wronged. He said the police don't stop someone from being upset. I managed to pull free and push my chair back. As I walked past him to leave, he stretched his arm out and blocked my path for a second. He leaned in close and spoke so softly only I could hear. He said that night I should sleep with the lights off. He said it like advice, like an expectation. I left the cafe shaking. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. That night, I slept with the lights off.